Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we got a game to prepare for, man. The Lakers and the Timberwolves at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. And yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting game. The game is here in Los Angeles. The Minnesota Timberwolves are starting their season off on the road. In the first game of the season, they played was against the Portland Trail Blazers, a very close basketball game where Ant-Man really went off. He had 41 points, 1 assist and 7 boards, 14 of 28 shooting, and 5 of 10 from the three, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. One of the best shooting performances of his entire career, if you ask me, though I haven't checked the stats. I don't think he's ever shot 50% from the field, 50% from the three, and 100% from the free throw line with this much volume. And 28 shots, that's outer worldly. That's Michael Jordan-esque type stuff right there, Kobe type stuff. The efficiency is crazy. It might be even more efficient than those guys, if I'm being honest, when you look at a performance like this. And it was required, given the fact they only won by 4 points. You know, he had Julius Randle chip in as well, 19 points, also pretty good shooting, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. So we need to keep an eye open for Juju, of course, coming back to LA, looking to always, break us. And 2 steals, 1 block, 6 assists, and 7 boards. So Juju started off his season very, very well. Jaden McDaniels shot the ball 50% from the field, 6 of 12 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line as well. He had 3 blocks and a steal to go along with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Rudy Gobert had 10 points and 6 rebounds, a game-winning dunk, if I'm not mistaken, something like a game winner. 32 minutes of play. Dante DiVincenzo shot very well, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 7 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 assists, and 4 boards. Now that Na is gone, he has a bigger role on this team, and he's playing well. So you can clearly see that the Minnesota Timberwolves barely missed with their starters. Everybody on their team was shooting well there. Naz Reid was 2 of 4 from the field, 6 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. You're noticing how good their defensive stats have been. Every man pretty much put up big defensive stats, except for the 4-time defensive player of the year who only had 1 block. So that should tell you how they're starting the season off. Mike Conley had 3 points, 1 steal, 2 rebounds, 1 of 5 shooting. He didn't shoot well. Jaden Clark, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 2 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. Again, more steals there. And Terrence Shannon has a bigger role. He had 25 minutes of play, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the 3, 10 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 1 steal on a +5 there. And Bones Highland chipped in with a bucket and an assist and 2 boards. So this is a Minnesota team that, they have some new stuff going on. They got some young players behind those guys that I think are very talented. As usual with Minnesota, they have really good scouts, and they've been doing an excellent job of bringing themselves young players that their coach does not use. See every conversation we've ever had about the Minnesota Timberwolves to know what I feel about that. But at the end of the day, I think they have a very talented team. I do think they lost a little something with Na, but they left room for other guys to step up, and I think they will. Especially Terrence Shannon coming off the bench. He's the one that benefits the most from a lot of this. And he's such a powerful runner, such a player that runs with force and fast breaking and do things on both sides of the floor. I think he's a super stud, and he has a lot of size down there at the small forward, power forward position. You could probably play him at the 2 if you really want to as well. So this is an extremely talented player, and I think that he's probably going to project to be a little better than Na. So I don't know that they didn't improve, just by slotting certain players up. I'm still waiting on Rob Dillingham to get his opportunity. Leonard Miller doesn't get opportunities, which frustrates me. This is year 3. He probably should be involved now. Joanne Berenger, I'm not sure how to say it properly. He's a guy that just got out of the first round of this year's draft. Ridiculous length. They're more than capable of blocking a million shots, so they have fantastic backups to Rudy Gobert with him and Naz Reid also there. So this is a very good team. I don't know that I said that I thought that they'd probably get to the Western Conference Finals again in one video. I just said, and it wasn't about, for me, it wasn't about assessing them as them being better than everybody else. If anything, I was just saying I don't think they can get any farther than that. So I just wanted to clarify to say I don't know that I have them as the second best team in the Western Conference this year, because the West does have some other teams that are probably ready to slip up ahead of them. But just the same, I don't see them getting to the finals again. I think if anything, they get back to the Western Conference Final and get knocked off by OKC again. But nevertheless, I just wanted to clarify that for anyone who heard me. I don't know if that's my opinion as it pertains to the Timberwolves being good enough to get back. I don't think so, not right now. But just the same, they do have a talented team, and they are a contender in the Western Conference that is probably not considered as much as maybe they deserve to be at this point. So, as far as the Los Angeles Lakers, of course, we're coming off a loss against the Golden State Warriors. Warriors are now 2-0 after beating the Denver Nuggets last night in an impressive basketball game that I watched a little bit of. And so we it's one of those situations where we didn't look our best, man. In fact, I thought, just like I said in the preseason, and I'll say it now to start the regular season, we were one of the worst teams that I've seen, eye test wise. Other teams, a good portion of them are just playing better basketball than us right now. And we got a lot of reasons for that, including LeBron James, our co-star, not being out there. Some of our young players are not available. Some of, all of these different things. We didn't use a lot of our guys in the preseason, all of that. Second year coach, you can give us all the excuses in the world. At the end of the day, there are about 25 teams that pass the eye test more so than the Los Angeles Lakers as of right now. And there are only 30 teams in the league. I've watched a lot more basketball to start this season than I usually do. And I'm telling you, one of my least favorite teams to watch right now is us. It's got to be honest. Just got to be real, man. And I'm sure when LeBron gets back, we'll be a lot better. But, it is what it is. I'm not seeing a whole lot that's making me very excited about us. And so I think that's just what it is. I was giving some thought to it this morning. I'm like, am I unhappy with what we have? No, I just don't think it's come together to look any good because we haven't utilized it enough together. We punted the preseason, and I just think that was a decision that made us look worse on the basketball floor than maybe we would expect to. That's what I got for that. Just the same, there were some positive things that we could take away from our situation. I think that Luka Don looked amazing. He looks like he's going to go on to have an MVP run and put up astonishingly great numbers in that first basketball game against the Golden State Warriors. And hopefully he can get some help out there because that was the problem. Our role players didn't really show up to play, man. Luka was 17-27 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3, 43 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 9 assists, and 12 boards. That's MVP numbers for sure. But the efficiency wasn't really there for some of his co-stars, man. Some of his other guys. Rui Hachimura shot 3 of 6 from the field, but his defensive issues were on display. Wasn't a good game, even though he shot well from the 3. DeAndre Ayton had a lackluster game. He had been rebounding so well and chipping in the defense and all of that. He had 10.6 rebounds and 1 block, 5 of 7 from the field. It's good shooting, but in 34 minutes of play, we need a lot more production from him if we're going to be any good. And I think the Warriors did a great job of defending our team. We in the preseason faced some very tough defenses. The Warriors twice, the Suns twice. These are teams with very good defensive players. So a lot of what the problem has been is just kind of us running into stuff that's just made it even worse that we haven't been playing together as much. Even worse that we don't have Brown out there. So, I think the difficulty that the Lakers have been playing on because of the talent they've been going up against is pretty high. And you hope that they'll be a bit better tonight, even though they're going up against a team that I think is pretty clearly better than us. They eliminated us in 5 games in the last year's first round. So I don't imagine that we would be favored to win tonight, even though the game's in our building. But just the same, we should have a certain pride about ourselves to say we did get eliminated by this team, and we are intentional on protecting this house. So that should be the mentality. We'll see what it is. Gabe Vincent, 1 of 4 from the 3. Chipped in with 1 assist and 1 steal. In 29 minutes of play, I need much more production. He had such a good preseason, but that first game at home didn't give us what we needed from him. Austin Reeves kind of had a tough game, even though he made it respectable in the end. He was playing for foul trouble. He had 5 turnovers, 26 points ultimately, 2 steals, 9 assists is great, 5 rebounds. 1 of 5 3, not great. 7 of 10 from the free throw line. That was a big problem for the Lakers, that free throw line. 9 of 16 from the field. Respectable shooting numbers, but throughout the course of most of the 3 quarters, the first 3 quarters, he shot poorly and just kind of had a good fourth quarter in 36 minutes of play. So that was good ultimately, but not great. And I think we had some issues that we need to work through, particularly, just circling back for this game, Golden State. We lost by 10. We missed 11 free throws as a team. multiple guys missing 3 free throws, stuff like that, in prominent roles. Luka and Austin missed 6 free throws between the two of them. You know, Marcus Smart missed 1. Jake LaRavia missed both of his. Ayton missed both of his. I mean, we just can't get away with that. We can't get away with that. We have to perform better at the free throw line. And so that we get there as much as we do is beautiful. But ultimately, we need to make the shots if we're going to make them count. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. So next thing I want to talk about is Jackson Hayes, because he is on the injury report. He looked pretty good in the minutes of play, 4.6 rebounds, but is looking like he may miss this game tonight. We'll see. I think they said he's day-to-day, some type of injury, and I'll let you know exactly what that injury is as soon as it shows up on my screen here. But yeah, he's on the injury report, and so we will have to deal without him if it comes to that game time decision with some type of knee thing going on. So I don't know. Maxi Kleber, of course, is out with the oblique. Braun is still out, will be out for a couple more weeks, and Adu Thiro, out also, continuing to rehab the knee that he hurt in college before we drafted him. And he's working on him. You know, I've seen some footage of him, as I mentioned in the last video, pregame video, that he is looking pretty solid, and I think he'll be back in due time. The Minnesota Timberwolves do not have any players on the injury report at all. They do not have anyone hurt tonight, and that is good news for them. So that's really what it is, man. We're going up against a full team, and we're missing our second best player. Hall of Fame legend, GOAT level Bron is still out. There's a lot of stuff going on with our team. Off the court as it pertains to the investigation with the FBI and all this different stuff. Our name has come up. You know, some of our associates, stuff came up. Some of the information that ultimately led to what has been investigated has alleged to have come from our side of the fence. So it's a lot of stuff that could potentially be distracting this team right now. And we don't love that at all. So hopefully our team is able to kind of rally together around one another, keep whatever's in the locker room, and just kind of block out the noise to start the season. But things are going the way I thought they would. Of course, we've only played one game, so it's a lot that can happen. But I said, you know, when you don't play most of your players in the first couple of weeks of the preseason, in the preseason, if you don't play most of your players, you're probably going to start the season off slow. And in a tough Western Conference, where you're not overly talented, where you're already missing LeBron James, you know, you can expect to continue to start slow. You can expect to be playing from behind to start your season. Hopefully that doesn't pan out that way for our Lakers, but I can't imagine, as I already said, we would be favored to win this basketball game. And so that's, you know, that would, if things go the way that they may, you're 0-2, you know what I mean? And so these are the type of things in the Western Conference, you already got to be thinking about making the playoffs. You already got to be thinking about seeding if you're doing it correctly. If you punt the first, say, 8 games of the season, there's a damn good chance that you're not going to get out of the play-in tournament at best. Or at least, rather, you're not going to be able to rise above that in the seeding is what I'm trying to say. We got the Sacramento Kings coming up on Sunday. We got the Portland Trailblazers, much improved Portland Trailblazers on Monday. Then next Wednesday, we got these same Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota. Then we play the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday, Halloween, in Memphis, followed by a game against Miami on Sunday. So those are the next couple of games, and then we got Portland after that. So once again, it's one of those situations where you just, yeah, if we had our full team and if we looked our best and felt our best, we'd feel confident going in all of these games. But right now, I don't know that we can expect to have a great record while Bron is out. And so we, you know, and then they're going to have to load manage throughout the course of the season. Since Bron is 41 years of age in December, so you're going to want him to miss some of these back-to-backs and stuff like that. I just don't like how this is shaping up so early for us to be struggling in the Western Conference that you just can't afford to struggle in, guys. And so that's my concern. I have several concerns right now, but none more so than we just are not whole to start the season. And if we win the Eastern Conference, it wouldn't be a problem. But in the West, it's already a crisis. When you start 0-2, 0-3, it's already a crisis, especially when you're not expecting to be the best team in the West. You know what I mean? So I just think that you got to talk about who you're seeing. Because we got a couple of teams in the Western Conference, the first 10 games, that we're going to see more than once, you already find yourself behind the 8 ball if you lose those games. with tiebreakers at the end of the season. Minnesota, you drop 2 games against Minnesota in the first month. You drop 2 games against Portland in the first month. If it comes down to seeding with those teams, you didn't already found yourself behind the 8 ball with those teams before you even get to the middle of November. So that's my concern. It's just like, yo, the way they set this thing up, we could already find ourselves in real trouble. We could really find ourselves in real trouble if we don't start finding ways to become winners in these basketball games. So tonight is a big one. We lost the game to Golden State off of free throws. Let's make sure that we hit our free throws tonight. Let's make sure we take this defensive Minnesota team very seriously and take care of the things we can control. If we can have a good, efficient night from everybody, obviously it gives us the best chance of winning. The way the Ant-Man's playing right now, he's going to, him and Luka are just going to have to battle it out. But I just think that right now, you would expect that Minnesota being fully healthy would have much more help for Ant than we have for Luka, and that's just what it is. So I hate to walk into this game pessimistic. It's too early in the season. You would think to be pessimistic, but with the experience that I have being a fan of this team in the Western Conference that has always been better than the East, I know when to start being concerned, and it's at the very beginning when your team doesn't look right and you're not overly talented as a unit to begin with. So I think that that's really what it was. We were not overly talented as a unit to begin with for us to not have as many of what we would expect to be using on the floor consistently in the preseason. And I think everything that you would expect would come from doing things that way is coming our way right now. So hopefully we can get our act together against Minnesota tonight, exceed all expectations, find a way to get a victory on this home floor against a team that has had our number pretty much for the past year or two. So that's really what it is, man. You hate to see your season start off this tough. You would love to have been in the Eastern Conference in our situation. But that's not what it is. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. And we're going to be, if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm looking at something that they just released showing us our in-season tournament court, which I actually think looks pretty dang good, if I'm being honest with you guys. And I will show you what I see here. But 12 minutes ago, they just announced what our in-season tournament court would be. That's what it is, and it just clicked away, and I was just about to show it to you guys. I think it looks good. I like the black one that they came with the year before last. I didn't love the one they came up with last year, but this one looks pretty solid to me. I don't know where the heck it went. Now I can't see it. They had it and it is gone. But anyway, yeah, here it is. Show it to you guys. This might be a little blurry for whatever reason, and it might show an ad there that we don't want to see, but essentially, blurry as it is, that's what it is. So, can't tell you why that's blurry. There's no reason for my phone to be blurry. But whatever. That is your new in-season tournament floor. We'll be seeing that sometime in the next couple of weeks when the in-season tournament begins. Hopefully we have some success. Hopefully we have Braun back by then. So, yeah, that's really what it is, man. The over-under, the betting's probably not the best thing, but we're negative 1.5. The Timberwolves are. The under is 4.5. I don't know what that means, you guys. I'm not a gambler. I don't know what that means. So for those who know, that's what that is. And since we're at the beginning of the season, there's no sense in really acting like there's too much more to discuss in regards to the opponent. They've only had one regular season game. That's what I'm studying. I'm not interested in studying their preseason numbers because I don't know that what they use in the preseason matters much. But just for the sake of it, they went 2-4 in the preseason. And that's pretty much what it was for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, yeah, man, this game 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern is already mentioned. We know what it is. Luka Doncic, we expect for him to continue on an MVP-like move. Hopefully his growing is fine. He's not on the injury report, so I assume that's fine. He did have a little bit of a uncomfortability, I guess you can say, at the end of that game against the Golden State Warriors, but apparently he's going to bowl through it. I believe that, as I said in my pregame video in the last one, healing is everything for us. I understand how, and I'm illustrating to you how urgent it is that we play better. But I also am telling you that I don't think anything good comes from rushing people back at all. Not on this team, not any year anymore. We just got to let guys heal. We've made too many mistakes rushing people back and letting guys play through injuries and stuff like that. It doesn't work for us. So that's something that I really think is important. And I just think, as I mentioned in the last game, the end of the game video, the Los Angeles Lakers are going to have to tweak some things for the time being to get the most out of themselves. I mentioned that I think we should reimagine a few guys' roles, maybe call some young guys up, and throw them out there, see if they can help us in some areas where we need, perimeter speed and stuff like that. I think a guy like Chris Magnon may be able to help us there. When Adu Thero is back, he may be able to help us there. I didn't necessarily agree with the rotations in the last game. And it's the beginning of the season. And there's a lot of different things factor into that. And coaches ain't perfect and all that. He's a second-year guy. I get that. But I do think that we could have utilized some other guys to give us a bit more of what we needed. And maybe pull the plug on a couple guys who were having a tough game, Vanderbilt did not give us enough production, 0-4 from the field, 0-2 from 3, 1 steal, 3 boards. I need more from Vando in 12 minutes of plays. I need more minutes from him too. But I need him to be able to stay out there to do the things that he does, man. We need his perimeter speed on the defensive end. We need that. We need his talent. His point of attack defense must be utilized. We can't afford to say, he's shrinking the floor for us, so we can't utilize all the other stuff that he does. We have to try because he's too talented of a player in the areas from which we are most vulnerable. So if we can't figure out how to get those things out of him, then it is the same dynamic as if you don't have him on the team. And that's just not what it should be. So I was encouraged by the speed of Jake LaRavia as well. I think he should be utilized there. Marcus Smart, some of those antics. I was a little frustrated with Marcus Smart's game, but overall I thought he was entertaining. I thought he was active. I thought he really gave it his all. But some of that foul baiting and the physicality stuff, I just didn't think really served us at all. And I want to see him make it through the season. So all that falling on his hips and stuff like that and banging up against people, I just didn't think really worked for him. But ultimately, I thought he was really, really aggressive, and I loved watching him. I just don't think he can make it through the season if he does that every night. No Dalton Connect in the first game. Dalton Connect has been so hit or miss as it pertains to when you're going to be able to get production out of him and when he's going to be wet the bed or whatever. So I don't doubt that coach had every reason not to play him, but I do think we needed his abilities. If he can be his best, we need that. So I would never say that he should be getting DMPs. I think you give him a couple minutes. If he's doing well in those minutes, good. If he's not, you sit him down and you sit him for the rest of the game. But I don't think just never putting him on the floor against a team like Golden State is a good idea. And Christian Koloko could help us in interior defense. He's probably our best pure rim protector. So giving him a DMP probably isn't the way to go. So that's really where my head is. I just, I want the Lakers to have a good season. Obviously, it's a very long season, and we're at the very beginning of it. But there's so much frustration surrounding just the injury around LeBron James and what that means for what we're doing out here. I don't want Luka Doncic to injure himself trying to do too much, dragging players that are not constructed to fit without LeBron and him together. So that's really a concern of mine right now. I worry that when LeBron comes back, Luka goes down, that kind of thing. So in a tough Western Conference, you just need to be whole, and we're not. So that's really where I'm at. And then some of the players that are healthy, you understand that maybe they don't come together to fit that great early on. Maybe they needed more run in the preseason with one another to kind of be more cohesive. So we're basically having a preseason right now, but the problem is the games count. So for the Los Angeles Lakers, there will be some more growing pains. There'll be some more hiccups. And hopefully tonight we'll find a way to overcome all of that to get a victory against a Minnesota Timberwolves team that just kicked us out of the playoffs very recently. So, yeah, that's really what it is, man. Hopefully your Los Angeles Lakers have a great game tonight, man. We are going to be – they did show us what we're wearing tonight for the first time of the season. This app that ultimately lets us know what the jerseys are telling us. So Minnesota's going to be wearing white on our floor, and we'll be wearing yellow on our floor. And so that's really what it is. Not a fan of that, to be honest with you. I think road uniforms should be the dark uniforms. Home uniforms should be white, except for the Lakers who wear yellow at home. That's tradition. I don't know why we wouldn't go back to that. I don't love seeing people wear their home floors on my jerseys, on my floor. Home jerseys on my floor, rather. Not a fan of that. But I'm an old school guy, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's really what it is, man. I don't know if he's going to tweak that starting lineup. They expected our starting lineup is going to have Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and Rui Hachimura and DeAndre Ayton. Against this Minnesota team that has some tall guys, I'm not really sure about that. But Gabe Vincent versus Mike Conley may not be that bad of a matchup at all. So maybe it makes sense. But Dante DiVincenzo appears to be the starter, according to this app. Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert round that out. So I'm not really sure we're matching up with them very well if we keep our starting lineup, but I'm not really sure JJ will keep that starting lineup. That's just what these folks think our starting lineup may be. Who knows? So that's pretty much what I got, man. That is it. I start the season off rather pessimistic, I will admit. But, I tend to be pessimistic anyway at times, so I wouldn't play into that too much. A lot of the times when I think we're going to lose, we really win. I've seen games like this where you think you're going to lose and you win by 30. Who knows what's going to happen tonight? But I know that the way that Juju and Ant-Man have been shooting the ball, if they carry that into our building, we're going to have a tall task given the fact that we struggle defensively. So the physicality of Julius Randle cannot be underestimated. The physicality of Jaden McDaniels on the defensive end, whoever they put him on is going to have a tough night. All of these things, I just don't think we match up that great with this team right now, especially without the King. So we'll do our best. I'm pretty sure we'll put up a valiant effort. I would love for our coach to find something out of somewhere that maybe we're not looking into. And it looks like some rumors are going around. I don't know if this is a credible source, but as I'm clicking around, something breaking was released. It says that Lakers investigated part of illegal gambling operation, revealed to be Gabe and Vando. Vando and Gabe are being investigated according to a source that I'm not really sure about. Not really sure about this source, but that's what's been popped up. JV and Gabe Vincent are being investigated for gambling. If found guilty, the 2 contracts will likely be voided. So that's something our team obviously does not need. We definitely do not need that. And so I just hope people can learn these lessons, man. Don't even put yourself in a position to be investigated. Don't even hang around people that are doing nefarious stuff. Keep stuff out of your life that could potentially put your lives and your livelihoods at risk. That's all I can say about that. I hope it's not true. Like I said, it's not the greatest source, but I have heard from credible sources that our team is very much involved in this situation, man. Very much involved. So that right there is a distraction that just concerns the hell out of me as a fan. What can I say, man? Good luck to everybody involved in everything having to do with that situation, but it is what it is, man. They're gonna try to clean up the gambling, and we can get mad about how they promote gambling to the fans, but it's a different story when you're running around out there. We may not like how it looks, but they have every right to take the position they take, and they're going to take it. So yeah, man, enough of that. The Lakers play the Wolves tonight regardless. Hopefully our guys will not be distracted by the presence of all of this going on. So that's pretty much my point of view, man. We'll watch the game tonight. Of course, we'll have something for you at halftime and at the end of the game. We're always going to be focused on basketball. We're going to try our very best not to be distracted by any of these things. And hopefully the King is healing up, man. That's really what it's about for me. It's what it's about. The King healing up and getting back on the floor to play the role that we need him to play and carry the load that we need him to carry. Until then, we're going to be half a team, hoping that our Luka piece can just carry us to victory somehow and not get injured in the process. So, JJ, you got a tough task ahead of you. I would say the same to the players, and I would definitely say the same to Rob Pelinka. We have work to do, Rob. I know you're in a space where you're like, man, I did everything. I did everybody. I thought people were happy, but you look at the roster, you look where we're at, and you just understand that we're still not where we need to be, and we really do have to address it somehow, whether it be through trade or just getting guys, calling guys up that we've picked up in the undrafted market to see if we can get some youth and some speed out there that maybe isn't out there. I really do want to see what Chris Magnon looks like. I really do want to see what some of these young guys that we haven't seen add to our team, and hopefully Coach will be confident that playing them is a good idea, because I think we need what they bring to the table. And if this turns out to be as bad as it looked like it could potentially be, we'll probably be without some of our role players just off the strength of what it is I just said. So I don't know if I trust that source at all, but believe me, without Vando and Gabe Vincent, there's just going to be more opportunities for some of those young guys that I really want to see any damn way. So that's what it is, man. Man, Lakers, I wish that we would be a more balanced franchise, man. And I know that we've switched ownership, and it's going to take some time for that to kind of shake out and be what it needs to be. But it seems like every year it's always something, whether it be coaching or rosters concerns or concerns about who's going to be on the roster and whether they're good enough to perform, or players can't quite do what we're asking them to do, but we're asking them to do it anyway. I just wish that dynamic would just not be in place anymore. I'm really tired of that. It's been like, 6 years of that. It's maybe even since the championship, we've had something that just feels like it's okay to be pessimistic hanging over our heads in regards to our team. And we've been a playoff team. We've definitely been through worse. But, this is a bit much to just say, dang, another season where you don't have what you need, or you're not really sure if people are happy, or now you got this distraction, or that player may not be happy. I'm sick of that stuff, man. I don't think every team has that problem year in and year out. And so I want the Lakers, to find some stability over however it goes, man. Get us some players in here that can perform, that are at least capable of doing the things that we're asking them to do, man, and not being a distraction for whatever set of reasons or whatever. That's all I'm asking for as a fan, man. I'm sick of that cloud hanging over our franchise. And it's always something different, and it's always something that you would think should be avoidable. That's what irritates me about it. So, yeah, man, love to have better energy, of course, to start the season. I'm happy our team is back. I'm happy the NBA is back. I'm more into the NBA this season than I was last year, as I was telling you guys. So that's a good thing. And hopefully the games continue to be great. Last night's games were fantastic on national television, both of them. The NBA's looking good on the court. It's just a lot of other stuff that's not looking great. And our franchise particularly is one of those things. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. But we're going to go out there and run and tip the ball up at 7 o'clock. I encourage all of you guys to check the game out. Continue to support the Lakers. You know I will. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.